Crescent City Steakhouse, a true neighborhood restaurant operated by the Vojkovic family since 1934, is the oldest steakhouse in the city of New Orleans. Serving only hand-cut, prime-aged, corn-fed beef for over 80 years, Crescent City Steakhouse has become a dining destination for both die-hard locals and adventurous travelers who seek traditional, timeless New Orleans cuisine. Crescent City Steakhouse, 1001 North Broad, on the corner of St. Philip, in the heart of New Orleans.
Inspired by the culture and spirit of New Orleans, the contemporary abstract and figurative work of Tony Mose and the urban expressionist art and jewelry of Tracey Mose are now on display and available at Efrem Art Galleries. Efrem Art Galleries are artist-owned and are located in Uptown New Orleans on Magazine Street and on Royal Street in the heart of the French Quarter. Efrem Art Galleries, inspiration from the soul of New Orleans. Max Durbus Realtors has been providing commercial and industrial real estate services to its clients for nearly 100 years. Since 1934, Max Durbus has been locally owned and operated throughout the greater New Orleans area, including the North Shore, Hammond, and even the Mississippi Gulf Coast and beyond. We focus on your commercial real estate needs so you don't have to. More information is available at 504-733-4555.
Happy holidays, everyone, and welcome to Primetime Sports with Scott Alexander. And I'm your host, Scott Alexander, and this outfit is because it's the holidays. We're going to talk a lot about promoting stuff over the holidays on this show. We're going to talk about a lot of things. But let's start with the Tulane Greenway because that is the story. They're playing in the American Athletic Conference Football Championship for the second straight year at home this Saturday. It's going to be December 2nd at 3 p.m. and they just won their 10th game in a row this past weekend against UTSA, a very good team, 29-16. So they're going to play SMU in the final, and they're trying to get their second straight title. They're 22-3 over the last 2 years. 22-3. That's the fourth best record of all the teams in Division I. That is incredible. I'm going to have their linebacker, Tyler Grubbs, on this show later in the show. Can't wait for him. He's a great young man who played at Holy Cross. Went to Louisiana Tech and transferred, led their team in tackles twice. But move on. LSU's Jaden Daniels. How about this? 4 TD passes once again. Just give him the Heisman, please. 50 total touchdowns? That's right, 50. Only 4 interceptions all year. He's got 40 touchdown passes, 10 rushing. He's got over 3,800 yards passing, almost 1,200 rushing. The guy's dynamic. Give it to him. Michael Penix, Bo Nix, great guys. I did their games this year. They're no Jaden Daniels. And I'm going to say this. They're great, and they're good. They have better records. Let's talk about the 3 losses, okay? 3 losses to LSU. Everyone wants to talk about that. Hey, they played 3 top 10 teams, all on the road, and they had the lead in all 3 of those games. Is it Jaden's fault? In the second half, that is. Had the lead in all 3 in the second half on the road. It's not Jaden Daniels' fault. Give him the trophy. Give him the hardware. He deserves it. Moving on, Saints. I don't know what they deserve. They're up and down, man. Up and down. This team went 444 yards. They were moving the ball all game. They just couldn't score in the red zone. It's unusual to get 7 red zone visits. Unusual. They got 5 field goals and 2 turnovers, including a pick 6. It's tough. They play the Lions this weekend at noon. That's going to be a tough one, but they can win. We'll see. Hey, moving forward, how about this? Bayou Classic. Southern got the victory. As a kid, I went to that Bayou Classic a lot. When Tulane, they played over the Tulane Stadium on, right there, the old Tulane, right there off Claiborne between Willow. Went to that a bunch. Hey, but here's the thing. Remember Art for Art's Sake a couple months ago? That thing was a huge success 2 months ago, but guess what? They're going to have the inaugural, just like that, the holiday stroll. It's called the Magazine Street Champagne Holiday Stroll. It's going to be huge, and we're going to talk a lot about that because I've got Tracey Mose from Efrem Art Gallery. She's going to come on. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be fantastic, and we're going to talk about all the places you should visit there, and also how about my man Efrem E.T. Towns. Look at that great shot of him in front of the cathedral. He is coming. He's the former lead of the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. He's been getting it done for years in this town. Music-wise, this is going to be a great show. Stay tuned. Primetime Sports is next.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Welcome back to Primetime Sports. Santa Claus is here. No, not really. I got the first name. It's Scott. It's the same initial. But hey, we got the holiday stroll. I've mentioned this in the open, and that is this weekend. It's the Magazine Street Champagne Holiday Stroll, and I cannot wait. It's going to be this Saturday evening on December the 2nd, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be 6 miles of Magazine Street, and it's got 100 merchants with the Magazine Street merchant. You see it right there, the Merchant Association, and Natalie Arnold runs this. And I can't wait. So you remember back in August, we had my friends Tony and Tracey Mose. They're artists. I'm a sports show, but I am also entertainment 30%. We got musicians, we got artists, we got all kinds of different people, restaurateurs, and I brought them on, and that was one of my favorite segments of the year. They brought some of their art. They're both artists, and they own 2 art galleries, Mose Art Galleries. One of them's on Magazine Street, hence why they're here today, or she's here today, Tracey, and the other is on Royal Street in the French Quarter. Tracey, it is so good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. See, let's put this up for everybody.
I know.
What does the stop mean?
Okay, so when you are heading out to our first Champagne Holiday Stroll on Magazine Street, these stickers will be placed in front of the participating businesses,
right,
who will be open from 6 to 9. And everyone will have different specials.
Right. And you have cocktails, you have champagne,
yes,
and it's all free. Okay, let me take you back. We did this back, a little bit of promotion back in late September for Art's Sake, all right? And I had Mariah on from West London, and that turned out to be a big success. I mean, like, that was a big party. Now they also have one in the spring, and obviously y'all know all the different stuff, like they're not really part of this, but like white linen in the summer, it's kind of like that, where you go into the place and you just get to see everything, and you look, but you get cocktails, you get some food, you get, whatever you want to drink, a lot of champagne, hence the name of the party. And that's our girl Tracey. That's one of her concoctions, and that's with the champagne. So this is just a little example when you come in the store, but you're also going to look around and see things you like. You got art galleries. We have a new one here as well across the street, from you guys, Jillian.
Yes.
Yeah, and that one, Jillian Mack, and that's going to be one. But also places like Sotra and places like Elysian and West London, the boutiques. But it's everything. And even some restaurants are participating.
Yes.
But I want you to talk about what it means to you. There's Mariah right there. You remember her on the show back when she was on back then. But anyway, tell us some more about it.
Okay, so I am a member of the Magazine Street Merchants Association. I'm also on the board.
Yeah, okay.
So we're known for 2 large events.
Right.
Throughout the year, Art for Art's Sake in
October. Which is early October, which is phenomenal.
Right, and then our Champagne Stroll, which is always the Mother's Day weekend. So now we have our 3rd.
So this is the first time you're doing this. This is the inaugural.
And it is.
It's such a natural, though, because, people want to, right around this time, they're wondering what kind of gifts do we give? Whether, you might have a little extra money and you have a friend that loves art. Well, obviously, Esam, Jillian Mack, those are great places, both different, very different, and across the street from each other, right?
Right.
But, obviously gift ideas, like I mentioned, those other stores like Sotra, Elysian, all them.
Yes. So
those are great, too. But it's become a party, man, because I didn't get to go to Art for Art's Sake, but I did get a lot of pictures. And this is something I took from the website. This is part of what they do. You sip, stroll, and be merry. That kind of says it all.
Yeah.
Magazine Street. But you ask what to expect, Tracey, when you go to the Magazine Street's Holiday Champagne Stroll. So I took some of this off of the video they do. Yeah, you get small bites from your favorite eateries. I think that little guy's cute.
Yeah.
And then, live entertainment and so much more. And I think they have something about cocktails as well. There's the time.
Yes.
And you see the Magazine Street in the background. And there's obviously my little, what is this guy's name?
I don't know, but I love it.
He's a cutie pie. But that's part of their promotion. But also, obviously, they do the drinks too. But for an entrepreneur like you, I want people to see this shirt.
Check out my sweater.
The sweater.
I know.
Because this is small businesses, man. This is what New Orleans is all about.
Tony bought this for me.
Tony's her husband.
I know. I love it.
And it's great. So that's the thing. We support small businesses and people that in New Orleans, it's so New Orleans. And I want you to tell what that means to you.
Yes. So this does. It means a lot to me, and just driving down Magazine Street and you just see that spirit, you know, the entrepreneurial spirit, and you see the way that someone did their logo or how they have the front of the shop decorated, you know, and everybody has their Christmas decorations up, and it's our dream. You know, these are our dreams.
Yes,
so they become a reality, and when we have galleries and shops and the streets full, it just does so much for us as entrepreneurs,
yes,
business-wise as well as spiritually, and just your whole aura, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm doing this, and it's just this beat on Magazine Street that you can't get it anywhere else. It's fantastic.
It's become world-renowned, honestly, because if tourists come in, and I remember growing up, you know, Magazine Street was something, but it wasn't like now. Now, you know, they all want to go to the quarter, because if you've never been to the quarter, you got to go there. But now Magazine Street's right there with it. Yeah. And you have galleries at both places, and this is Jillian Mack, I believe. That's the other new one across. But we're showing you examples of the stores in this 2-block radius that support this show very much. Yes. But we're supporting this entire block, man. I mean, it goes, like I said, there's 100 merchants, and I did this wide thing because it's 6 miles long. Support it all, but if you have a limited amount of time, just support those 2 blocks at 3900 between Constantinople and all the way down to General Taylor, right?
Right.
I mean, that's big, but we want to support everything, and I want Natalie this to be successful for her Merchants Association, Magazine Merchants Association, but also for the shop owners themselves, man, the boutique owners, the gallery owners, the restaurants. There's so much. I love that shot of you. A lot of Tracey's art has love themes. Yes. And if you meet her ever, she's all about love. I mean, this is what's great about you. You truly are. You exude love, and you exude that spirit of caring about others, and I love all that. But, you know, what else about this whole function, now that it's inaugural, catches your mind, and what should people think about it? So
something that is always fun to do, you can always go to our Magazine Street Merchants website. Yep. MagazineStreet.com.
Yep. Right, and we put up a thing. I think one of those things I have a bunch of the websites that they have that they like you to go to, and there you go, right here. Yes. So the MagazineStreet.com is the main one. You see that, but they also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can go check it out, stuff there that you can like. If you have a question, you can do that office@magazinestreet.com, and you know, I'm sure you can call them as well. But here, that's ways you can check this thing out before you come.
Yeah, and you can see if your favorite shops are participating, check out your favorite shops, and then if they're not, check out some other ones. Right. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to see on that street, and Magazine Street is falling in the role of the whole city right now. The city, it's just on fire.
Yes,
you know,
it is. Yes, it is.
Everywhere, from the new Caesars, Saks is getting a big renovation. I mean,
man, you should be on the tourism board as well. Now look at you supporting your fellow. You got a Sotra bag, which is right down the street. I took this off of your Instagram video. You're carrying the bag there, but this is your annual thing where you support, for art's sake, you go down and buy something at Sotra. But that's just an example of what y'all do for each other, because the love and the camaraderie of the folks on Magazine Street is so unique as well.
It is, and everyone tries to, every time there's a new shop on Magazine, we all welcome them there and embrace them, and it's, it's kind of like build it and they will come. So the more galleries we have on Magazine Street, the better the galleries do. The more restaurants we have on Magazine Street, better the restaurants do, because you start becoming a destination for these things.
Right. It's interesting you said that, because as a guy that makes his living on advertising because of the show, I'm cognizant of not having competitors. Like, I'm not going to get a dry cleaner and then get another dry cleaner. Why would I do that to this guy? So when I got Mr. John's, and I hand the gift stick, I asked Crescent City Steakhouse, I said, listen, is this? They go, no, it's 2 different audiences. Yeah. And I noticed that the gallery, Jillian Mack, is totally different. That's they call it fine art.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
yeah.
and your art is urban expressionism, and Tony's has got the Coronation series. And I'm going to show people some of that too, because I mean,
oh, definitely.
One of the things here is I want y'all to see, like, this is some of the stuff that Tracey does. It's a wide range, and you're better than me than explaining some of it, because you've got some of the stuff with the depth and the texture, which blows me away, like that.
Oh, I love that.
That blows me away. Now you might just see black in there, but I want you to say what you see, because it is so many layers of this.
Yeah, so that's part of my Raven series.
Right.
And I was taking photographs for inspiration in the French Quarter, and you know the black crows, the big black crows that command attention, and they're beautiful and they're just so strong. Well, the street sweeper sprayed one.
Oh.
And it didn't really bother him, but as an artist, I saw all of his feathers almost came up like this, and you could see all the different colors and dimensions of black.
Oh, wow.
So my first thought was, I'm going to paint this bird, right?
Yeah.
Well, every artist has painted this bird from the beginning of time to now.
I'm posting something similar.
Yeah, and it's not my style to paint the bird.
Right.
So I said, oh my God, what if I could capture all these different colors and the strength and the vibrancy of this beast.
Yes.
You know, that's just like controlling the streets of the Quarter, and that's how the Raven series came about.
And I've just grabbed a bunch of different kind of stuff. I mean, your stuff is so varied and unique, and I love there's a story behind each one.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, if you go on Saturday to your address is exactly what, 3935 You're 3935.
Esom Art.
Esom Art, ESOM. And I mean, listen, here's the other thing I think was so cool that y'all do. And this is a little bit off of this, but I love how y'all do, your staff, by the way, amazing. I've gotten to know them all, and I wanted to recognize them on some of this, because I love that. I took some shots off of the thing of all of them. Like, that's a group shot, but they're so much fun individually. I mean, this one, was that Frank?
That's Chris.
Chris.
Yes.
Phenomenal, fun dude. He came over here on the first time y'all were on the show, and he brought stuff. But that's Ronnie. Right. Ronnie's so much fun, and they. Misty, Milia, they're all awesome, and you know, Misty, they all work hard. They all do different roles, but I love that picture of Chris's face right there, and then him picking you up. I was like, I told you, I screenshot
That's
a lot.
at our show in Atlanta.
Oh, nice. Okay, so but the other thing, I think I have Misty. Is that a client?
Oh my gosh, one of our dear clients, and Randy is our gallery director at Royal, and he's friends with Julie, and she gave us this fantastic pop-up in Jackson.
Now, a pop-up is when you go and you bring your stuff to a place, maybe it's a home, maybe it's a restaurant or something, and pop-ups y'all are big on these now.
We love doing the pop-ups, because it gives us an opportunity to meet so many people at one time, you know, in a span of 3 or 4 hours.
I think it's a phenomenal idea.
It's great. It's great.
And you have such passion and spirit. I bet they just like catch that right away, and you got to know it. Yeah, I love this shot.
That's
These
Randy.
two dudes. Yeah, Randy's on the right. Randy Jackson.
Yes.
And not the guy from American Idol.
No, he's our gallery director at Royal. He's amazing.
Does phenomenal. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I watched him at your place. The first time I met Tony was at your condo down in the warehouse district, and you know, all these people that love art were there, and I'm learning, and I'm walking around, and I watched Randy Jackson, like, talk to the potential buyers and the people, maybe some of his clients already, and I'm really blown away at how he does it. He's very good, he's very personable, and they do a phenomenal job.
And it comes across, we all are in this so much all week long, and our clients all become our friends.
Right.
And it's just this melting pot of people that love art and people that love each other and design, and it's fantastic to get all these people in the room together, and that's what you're going to see on the streets.
The streets at magazines.
Yes.
Yeah. Hold it up again. Hold up again. The champagne. The holiday champagne. And by the way, they have free champagne. That's in the title. Okay. And it's free. They're not charging you. Just going out and have fun.
No, and Bromart.
The time. We got to give the time. It's 6 to 9, right?
6 to 9.
And by the way, we're going to have our next guest is going to be playing at one of the stores on Sotra, and he is a guy he's on my very first show 8 years ago. Efrem Towns, no introduction needed. E.T., the leader of the Dirty Dozen Brass Band, but now he's on his own. But I wanted to unless you had something you had to say, I wanted to say something real quick about what I think is cool, what y'all do. You have an installation thing, and you go, and also I wanted to show some art that you did and Tony did in people's homes.
Okay.
And so I have some shots of that, and I want you to kind of explain how this works. And I've got a bunch of your clients and your stuff put up there. Like, how do you go about doing it for them?
So it starts with we usually meet
Part of the installation there, yeah.
Yes,
right.
We usually meet the client at the gallery, and then we head over, we set up an appointment, we go to their home, and we discuss some of the work that they like.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring pieces to try.
Love this.
Thank you.
Love this.
We'll bring pieces to try in the space, and then from that point, usually, sometimes it's a consultation, it's a commission piece, and then sometimes it's pieces that we have at the gallery. And it's so much fun, and we get to really personalize these pieces for the client and what they like the most about our work.
And I noticed that
we love commissions.
Y'all, there's a lot of, this isn't just art sometimes that they see it, I want it at my house. They'll go to the house, and like I see a lot of the color coordinating on some of these pictures I've seen that go with the walls. I mean, it's phenomenal. So y'all get to look at it. Like, that's perfect right there. You see the gold that's bringing out the fireplace and stuff like that. But that's all the way through. And you saw some of the art that Tony did, which is totally different than y'all's, which is beautiful. They have in the galleries, but they're the artists too.
Yeah.
It's their stuff. I want to make that clear, because a lot of people own galleries that's just, art that they like and they sell. It's not their art. So this is where it becomes very different. And we have some of Tony's stuff. I don't want to leave him out.
No, definitely. Because Tony's paved the way.
He's the big daddy, man. And then we got some of his coronation series with those faces. And I told my producer, Will, there's a couple of them that caught my eye. This one, man, I looked at this. There's two that I'm going to say. This one, I kept going back to it. I said, this one's speaking to me a lot. And I love the colors. It's just, I don't know why. I've already got one of their pieces at my place. That's another great one. It's the pink one, Will, the all pink. And then I think it's just, I'm wearing pink, so I like it. I love that. I mean, that one and that other one, those two just like, bam. I mean, Tony's killing it. And explain what his pieces mean.
Well, he has been doing figurative work since he's been doing this for a living since 2002.
Yeah.
And they're always different. They always have different expressions. Sometimes they are adorned with something, and sometimes, they're not.
A lot of crowns.
And the whole concept is,
that's killer.
Yeah, and he just paints what's inside of him. I mean, when you guys were doing our commercial, you have the video of him painting, and it's really just so natural to watch him do it.
It's amazing. That's one of the great experiences I had in the last couple months, is going over there and just watching his vision go onto the screen. It doesn't just, he thinks about it. It's not like he's slapping stuff on. Like, he outlines and he does, and he's got a thought process. The man's a genius, and it just blows my mind. That's another piece that I just, y'all are just stepping up, and I had to get this shot in.
I love
because
it.
That's one of my favorites.
I bought him those for his birthday one year.
I mean, I think that's the coolest thing. Y'all have the best relationship. I love you guys so much, and I appreciate.
And Scott, we have to talk about the sponsors for the show.
Oh yes, Gulf Coast Bank.
Yes.
By the way, I bank with Gulf Coast.
I do too.
And I love them, and I started banking with them because I was running the rugby team, and they were sponsoring that. And I say this all the time. I go to 4 branches, because I used to just go 1, but now I have friends now at all of them, and I go to all. They are the best bank I've ever had. I'm not even joking. That's the best bank I ever had. They're personable. The service is great. I call them, I need money, like immediately, switch to one business account. They'll do it right away. And I'm like, amazing. And then Bromart,
I know.
Bromart, what else needs to be said?
They did all our champagne for us this year. So it's amazing.
Very thankful for that.
Yeah, we are.
That's very thankful, because that's an expense.
Yes.
And I'm going to say something else about Bromart. And I'm not here to promote Bromart. I'm just telling you that I lived by one not long ago. Best produce in town, probably the best kept secret. Best produce in town. They do a great job.
They do.
If the other groceries are offended, I'm a grocery guy. Oh, this is when you're on the show.
I know.
This was when they came in August, first week of August, and Will, my producer, was not at this show, so you had a new producer doing that. But we have so much fun. They brought some of their art, and you can see in the background, that's part of the coronation series. Just wonderful people. And this whole thing, I want to thank Natalie for making this happen, the Magazine Street Merchant, because this is the inaugural holiday champagne stroll. The champagne holiday stroll, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we give gifts. I'm giving you this Task Performance shirt, one of the right down the
thank
street,
you.
that store.
Yay.
Rest in peace,
Beautiful.
Al Andrews. He just passed away this summer, and he was one of my close friends. And I'm sad every time I think about it, but Al and I have become friends from the moment I moved in. I wear nothing but Task underwear, socks, shirts. I mean, I have it. Even dress shirts. I wore some long pants this week. And also, this is a Mr. John's Steakhouse. That's Desi Vega and my man Archie Rodenkirk and Charlie Brown behind the bar.
Thank
and
you.
the great waiting staff over there. So congratulations from Mr. John's, and thank you.
Well, we're happy to be part of the sponsorship here, and we love being on the show and everything you're doing for our community. And
thank you.
And it's been nice, like for as sponsors, and being on the Magazine Street board, it all goes together. So.
It really does.
Thank you.
And listen, I'm here to promote things about New Orleans. I talk about Jazz Fest. I talk about, obviously, I had a Jazz Fest show. I had all Jazz Fest musicians on one time this past year. Mardi Gras. But this is all the same. We love festivals. We love parties, and that's what this is. And that's why I'm promoting it, because, hey, you got to do some Christmas shopping. We all got to do it, and might as well just knock it out on Magazine Street because it's local. Help the local people out because they're supporting you too. All right, thank you, Tracey.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
It's a blast as always.
Hey, later in the show, I got to tell you, I saw an interview with this guy, this player for Tulane. By the way, Tulane's 23-3. We're going to show you a graphic during that segment where they have the fourth best record of all 130. D1 teams, 133 actually. So that's how well they've been doing the last 2 years. 23-3 over 2 years. Are you kidding me? And I saw an interview with the linebacker they had, Tyler Grubbs. He's going to come up later, and you're going to love this segment. But also coming up next, we have a true legend. His name is Efrem Towns, E.T. He was in the beginning of the Dirty Dozen brass band. He's been playing that trumpet for a long time, and we're going to have a segment that you won't forget because I pulled up some stuff off Instagram that's going to warm your soul. I promise you that. Warm your heart and make your soul feel good. We're coming up next right here on Primetime Sports.
Inspired by the culture and spirit of New Orleans, the contemporary abstract and figurative work of Tony Mose and the urban expressionist art and jewelry of Tracey Mose are now on display and available at Esom Art Galleries. Esom Art Galleries are artist-owned and are located in Uptown New Orleans on Magazine Street and on Royal Street in the heart of the French Quarter. Esom Art Galleries, inspiration from the soul of New Orleans.
Rock and roll will never die. It's old New Orleans, my oh my. Come on, baby, let's go rock and roll at the city lane. All night, let's roll, let's rock and roll. Baby, do the rock and roll at the mid-city lanes, the home of rock and roll.
Hey, welcome back to Primetime Sports. My hair took a hit because of the Santa hat in the last segment, but I'm back to normal almost. But hey, this segment right here, I've teased it before. I have Efrem Towns. No need to tell you who he is from people from New Orleans. E.T. is what they call him. He was the lead guy for the Dirty Dozen brass band for almost 40 years. He was with them like 45 years ago, but he's been off on his own. He spends the summers in Cape Cod, plays with some bands up there, plays on his own. He's going to be playing also at the big Magazine Street Champagne Holiday Stroll this Saturday. That's going to be a big party all the way up and down Magazine. After the Tulane game, Tulane plays, I think, around 3, right? And then this thing goes from 6 to 9. It's perfect. I'm going to go to the Tulane game, and I'm going to go straight over there. And you got a free champagne, you got a free party, and then you go get your Christmas gifts, too. But the guy playing music at one of the places, Sotra, is this guy right here, Efrem Towns. He's going to be playing on the 3900 block, and you did it for art's sake, right?
That was a great time for art's sake.
Yeah, it's the same kind of event. This is just 2 months later. Art for Art's Sake was a big party basically, and it's a 6-mile radius. I mean, it's 100 merchants that are participating, and they give up. But you were at one.
You can shop 6 miles in New Orleans.
Can you believe it?
Yeah,
I mean,
no mess.
New Orleans. I mean, this goes from like Audubon Park almost all the way downtown to right before. So, but the block we focus on, because 6 of my clients are literally in the 3900 block. That's a 2-block radius. Both are 3900, weirdly enough, from Constantinople over all the way to General Taylor, right? Yep. But you're a good person to say because you played at the last one.
Yes, sir.
And what was that like?
it was great. Had a good time playing there. They had many patrons there, and then family brought the kids, and that was always good to see kids.
Yeah, right. It's
so
not just for adults; kids come on too, right?
Lots of kids, and
there's the event, and we promoted it. But I want to talk now about you because you're going to be playing, and it's fun. But you've been through it. And I've had you on the show before. You're like I said, you were on my very first show, but you've been at this a long time, man. And you have that horn in your hand, and I've known you for a long time. I've known you for at least 2 decades, or probably more. And I've been around you. I've been at people's homes when you just pop in with a couple of horns, not for a party, because you just like to play walking down the street.
Yeah, I practice all the time.
You practice all the time. But, I mean, tell me real quick, remind people how you got into this.
Well, this trumpet thing, you got to want to do it. It's one of them things. It's a real physical instrument, and you got to really want to play the trumpet. And so I always wanted to play trumpet from a kid.
Right.
So my parents thought, my grandmother, I was raised by my grandmother, she thought, well, we want to play trumpet, well, how about we put you on piano? And so 6 years old, I went to piano lessons. And
that's not as fun.
Good music teachers are real strict disciplinarians.
Yeah.
I mean, really strict. You hate them at the time, but you love them later on in life.
And they make you great.
Yeah,
they help make you great.
Make you leave it alone. So they made me leave the piano alone.
Yeah.
And so finally, I was like 6, 7 years old. So I got in 7th grade, went to 7th Ward down in Gentilly area.
Yeah.
Went to Philip Junior High, and I finally got a chance to get my trumpet. And from there on, you just practice. You start at the last seat, and you just move everybody out all the way up.
Well, I mean, I see you like, let me show you something. This embodies something. I was going, not just through your Facebook and Instagram and stuff, but also I just was going through your name, and people, you have no idea how this guy just goes and plays on the street just for fun. It's not, he might put a bucket out, but he's not doing that for this. I have so many shots of you just on the street from other people, like just saying, oh my God, can you believe E.T. is playing on the street just out there? You play because you love it. Like I watch you just holding horns. Sometimes you playing 2 horns at one time, and that's amazing. The first time I ever saw that was you. But you're out there a lot doing that. But there's a guy that put an Instagram post up that I need to read it because it embodies New Orleans, and I wish I could read that. Let me see. I'm gonna get over here. I said, this is like somebody that posted about you, Efrem Towns. This man had a heavy hand in New Orleans, stealing his own heart, his heart. I first heard Efrem playing and singing while eating on a balcony. I was absolutely mesmerized. He's the guy that took a couple of those pictures from the balcony. He plays the trumpet like it's easier than breathing, and he sings as though he doesn't, and he cease to exist. I'm having a hard time reading, but I'm trying my best. Listening to him, I'll fill the quieting streets with his gifts. It was such a privilege. The ironic thing is I just ordered glasses I'm getting tomorrow, and I would have been able to read this perfectly. But he promised myself if I find him after dinner and let him know how thankful I was for the gift he gave me. And when I left the restaurant, he was nowhere to be found, unfortunately. The next day, they must have been taking that from like Tableau, because that looked like downstairs,
yeah,
that balcony at Tableau. Because I have a friend that lives right where you were playing right there. The next day, after exploring pieces of the magic held in the Big Easy, I heard him above the noise of the crowds. And there he was, filling the city with more beauty all over him again. And you've never seen this, so I'm reading this for him the first time. I left him my card and a thank you, maybe you remember this, and then marveled at him for a while longer before moving on, while you were playing, of course. That evening at dinner, my phone rang, and it was none other than the wonderful man, E.T. He had me laughing, big laughs, and shared stories of his time as a musician. That's who he is. I talked to E.T. for like 2 hours last night, and the same thing. Shared stories of his time as a musician and left my jaw agape, and I was elated. We made plans to meet, to photograph him doing what he loves to do. It was just magical. He sang his heart out and played his trumpet for me in the rain. My face hurt from smiling so much. I listened to the stories he told and watched my eyes light up, speaking about the thing that brings him joy in life. Efrem told me that I had a new friend for life. That's who he is. That's E.T. This sums you up, buddy. And I've got to tell you, he's the perfect addition to the group of amazing humans in my life. Efrem, you're a gift. You got a light, and I can't wait to see you again. Let me say this about the thing that struck me at the end. You are a light. And when I first met you through our mutual friend who's passed away, Rod Solo, I was like, you love what you do, and you love people, and you, as famous as you are in this town, and you played all over the world, I know this, that you truly love knowing about other people and getting to know them truly, and you're not fake at all.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, like we call the streets of New Orleans, like all the great musicians that's since Louis Armstrong to the present day Trombone Shorty, we call the streets, the French Quarter, the Proving Grounds.
The Proving Grounds.
Yeah,
That's
Kermit
so true.
Ruffins, myself, you know, we started as little kids playing.
Even
out
Big
there.
Sam after you.
Big Sam, you know,
right.
everybody, you know, it's the Proving Grounds, you know.
More shots of you on the street right here.
So like my thing is, you know, like I traveled all these different places, played at all the major venues around the world,
Sure.
Sydney Opera House, Philharmonic, Berlin, you know, and Royal Festival Hall, Carnegie Hall, you know, all the places is great, you know, but you always have an audience sitting there waiting for you. I like to say, you know, build it as they come. And I build it and they come, you know, and it's something like, and it's something cool about, you know, building and they come, you know. I go out there, when you go to all the different places around the world, people know who you are.
Sure.
So you got an audience, thank God, they're sitting there waiting for you.
You just build it as you just go to the street and all of a sudden they start piling around.
You know, so you out here totally obscured and nobody don't know who you are, and which is pretty cool, because, you know, trust me, it's flattering.
And you've lost 130 pounds, by the way, so you look totally different to a lot of people, so they probably don't even recognize you much anymore.
Then they figure that's ET, but the thing about it is I heard the sound, you know, and that's the cool thing about it, you know. I go out there to really to develop your sound, and I may have a bucket out there, but really, I don't use no Venmo stuff, and I have Venmo, but I never put that out there.
Right,
because,
right. That's the thing everybody does now. My son, as you know, plays, and you carry this around all the time. He's been having a guitar in his hand since he's 11. He never plays less than 6 hours a day. He's 27 now and does it. I remember he was in high school, and he came to visit, and because I'd moved right when he was a senior, and back home, and that's you at Jackson Square. That's one of my favorite shots of all time.
That's a cool shot.
Isn't it? And but he. Like he says, he plays guitar. Hey, have him come down here. I got a gig. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing my son on stage with E.T. And I'm like, this is amazing. And now he's playing on a regular basis. He plays 6 nights a week at bars. Or clubs. I used to hang out in Atlanta when I lived there. Smith's Old Bar, which is like, you played Smith's, I know.
Yeah.
Everybody's played Smith's. And now I see my son on stage. I'm like, and you're one of the guys that gave him confidence, man. I'm just saying, I mean, from heart to heart, man to man, that's how you are as a person. That's my point I'm trying to make. It's not about my son. It's about how you are with other people, and you leave an indelible mark on them all.
Well, you know, and that's the cool thing about being like playing out on the streets. Like, you know, everybody ain't got $1,
right?
But everybody can use a smile.
That's it.
Everybody can use a smile, you know, and you don't know what people going through in life.
True that.
You know, and
right.
Like one of the touching things that ever happened to me out there, I was playing. I do this all the time. I was raised by my grandmother, so I really go to elderly people a lot. And, you know, there's people handicapped, be confined to their wheelchairs or whatever.
Right.
And so they had this family coming out, and I always go play, you know, try to lift the spirits, you know, but just out of sincerity, you know, so hey, there's love out in this world, you know. And so I'm playing for this girl, and the mom and dad, I'm not even paying attention, they totally crying. I said, damn, bro, it made me start crying.
Yeah,
you know,
choked up right now. Yeah.
You know, and the father said, well, no one never does this. No one never did that. And, you know, he started crying and all. I said, just think what these people go through every day.
Right.
You know, and so,
every day.
Every day.
Every single day,
you know,
you're right.
Anytime you break down to me, you know, come like, I don't know this guy, you know, but we do know each other because this music has a bond.
It is, isn't it?
You know, so if you know, you can touch the heart of someone, you know, just like athletes, you know, athletic, you know, you have a bond, you know, people, they don't know you, but
he's looking at my next guest, Tyler Grubbs, one of the stars of Tulane's great football team. Hey, real quick, give us some of the sound if you don't mind. I know I didn't tell you to play, but is it all right to give me that, maybe a little scatting?
Yeah.
Don't feel like you got to, but if you can.
I'll grab your coat, get a hat, leave your worries on your doorstep, direct your feet up to Magazine Street. Can you hear that pitter-pat? It's a happy song, it's where we be at. Like to be so fine, drinking that Manischewitz wine. Oh, I used to go walk down to the shade with the blues on parade. Oh, sweet darling, you know I'm not afraid. But rode across the street and got run over. If I never ever said, I'll be rich dead to smile on your face, walking with grace. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. Oh, can you hear that pitter pat? It's a happy song, it's where you have fat, like to be so fine on the sunny bop bop bop. Talking about that sunny side, talking about that sunny side. Sunny side of the wave. Green Wave Road.
Roll wave, baby. How about that? That's for the Green Wave. We got an audience here. And by the way, you can catch this right here. I mean, shoot, why not? This is part of the holiday stroll. You're going to be at Sotra. That is the street between, I think, General Taylor and Austerlitz in the 3900 block, 1 block away from Tracey Mose Art Gallery. And I want to mention these places that, Task Performance, the great Tulane legend that started that, and a good friend who passed away. I said that earlier, rest in peace. That's on that block. You got Elysian, another boutique. You got West London Boutique. You got our newest client, Julian Mack, a fine art store, and then of course Esam, you just saw Tracey. Those 6 places are all supporting this show. So if you go out and support me, he's going to be playing at Sotra. Give him a little Christmas music to take off, brother.
I got you, brother.
I got some gifts for you first. Task Performance. I know you've had one of these from me before.
I love this shirt, man. It's
so
great quality.
It's so soft. And we're going to go with you. We're going to give Mr. John Steakhouse for you. Desi Vega, you got a superstar coming your way right there, but he's going to take us to break with some nice Christmas music. Hey, welcome back to Primetime Sports. Hey, enough of the entertainment. We love it, but we're getting into sports now. And there's no better story going on right now, not just in New Orleans, but in the entire state of Louisiana, than what the Tulane Green Wave are doing this season. They are 11-1, and for the second straight year, they're about to play in the American Athletic Conference Championship game, and they're hosting it again, just like they did last year when they avenged their loss to UCF, and then they obviously went on to win the Cotton Bowl against USC and Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. But this year, not many people knew what was going to happen. You had Michael Pratt back. You had some key players. But yeah, lost a couple great linebackers. Obviously, Nick Anderson, who sat right here on the show, Dorian Williams, who will be here one day. But I had so many people from that team on this show, and it was such a great year, but a lot of them had moved on. But they didn't miss a beat. And I can tell you what, this team has made this city proud. The Saints have had some struggles, as you know. LSU's still rolling along, but they know they got 3 losses out of the picture for the championship. Everybody's grafted onto this Tulane football team, and for good reason. And I'm going to tell you this, I've had at least a dozen, or probably more, that Willie Fritz and Jason, their media relations person, has allowed me to have. And I can tell you they're an impressive group. Each one of these guys, I'm blown away at their maturity and at their level of, seriousness to their craft, and it's been wonderful to see. And we have yet another one. This one is a transfer, and I saw him on the news when I got home from doing my games across the country, and I watched the press conference, and I called Jason last night. I said, any way we can get Tyler Grubbs on this show, because it was impressive. And he transferred from Louisiana Tech, where he was there for 3 years, led that team in tackles 2 years, and he was up there in the country in tackles as well. But he came over. He's a Holy Cross product, and I love to get those local products. And he came back home, and he's in New Orleans, and he is one of us. He loves it down here, and he is killing it right now, second in the team in tackles. His name is Tyler Grubbs. How about that lead-in?
Yes, sir.
I used to be a sports agent. I'm not going to try to be your agent, because I know you'll play one day, but I will point you in the right direction. How you doing, buddy? I'm
doing great. Excited to be here. It's an exciting time, playing football, So I'm excited to be here.
Listen, I'm going to start here because Kurt Hester has been on the show. That's how deep I've gotten with the people. And my immediate thought was seeing you look like a normal guy. You remind me of Pete Werner in a lot of ways, that you just look like a normal dude. But then I see you, some video you, and you pumped up, and I'm like, oh, man. And then I noticed, you're at Tech, and it hit me. Kurt Hester was at Louisiana Tech, and he just got strength and conditioning coach of the year. And it's for a reason I brought him on, because last year, nobody ever really talks about the strength and conditioning coach, but everybody was. Tyjae Spears, Michael Pratt. Obviously, I even had receiver, punter. They all bring it, so I brought him on, and I can see why. But you got a chance to work with him at Tech and now at Tulane. And what has he meant for you?
Yeah, no, coming in as a freshman to college football, he's I feel like he's like the most ideal person. He sympathizes with you in ways that I feel like nobody else does. He understands the mind of a young athlete and just a young player. And that man he does wonderful things in the weight room and outside of the weight room. I think, he could really care less about the wins, the losses. All he cares about is you as a person.
Yes.
And for somebody to be in the corner for you for that, it just shows how much he cares about, us.
Yeah, and I want Kurt to know, I started the show off not knowing I was going to talk about him, but he kept coming back to me because everybody speaks of him, and he's like I mentioned the last guest I had, Efrem Towns, he's a light. He's a light, and you just said it perfectly. He cares about you as a person. Obviously, he's building better bodies and more agile bodies, and he's doing that, but it's a big picture with him, and that's wonderful. And I'm going to go back to why I brought you on. The story about your mom caught my mom passed away 20 years ago, and I'm going to say this. You're on the press conference, and I have some still shots, and I don't know if my producer Will can get them. Yeah, this is you talking about your mother. There's 3 of them. There's one you have a big smile, and there's one you're talking, yeah, that one. And I just caught this, and I still shot it off the video I got off y'all's Instagram. And it was just wonderful because, in a nutshell, my mom I played high school sports. My mom was always like, hey, you can do better. You can do this. Not like a helicopter mom, but she's like, but encouraged me along the way. And it struck me, man. And I want you to tell the story about your mother being, always in your corner, but always pushing you to be better and better. And then all of a sudden you got the compliment the other night. And I got to hear it again because I know 90% of my audience hasn't seen this.
Yeah, so I can take it back to when I was younger, and then we'll kind of develop into what happened the other night. So man, when I was younger, you'd always think your dad's always the one that you kind of just roughhouse with, and kind of just always mess around with. But it was always my mom. My mom on the front lawn, playing basketball, playing football, whatever. Me and her were always just getting physical with each other. It was
awesome, man.
It was crazy. And so I played baseball when I was younger, always in sports. And so there was actually one game during a baseball game, didn't play a great game. We kind of embarrassed her in her words.
Oh my goodness,
out there. So it was raining, it was pouring, and everybody was going home. My mom's like, look, we're not going home. You're going to run light pools.
Oh my God, Mom's making you run?
Yeah,
run the steps.
In the rain outside. And that's just kind of how she's been my whole life. She knows the expectations I have for myself and the expectations she has for me, what I'm capable of.
Right.
And so kind of this whole season, it's been good for us, as a team. We're winning and everything. And for me, she just always is trying to push me to, be my best self.
Right.
And so this whole season, she's just like, look, I know you got more in you, and I know what it takes. And so she's been on me the whole season, every game. And this last game, she just knew I just left everything out there, and she was just so proud of me after that game, and she just got in my ear. And I could tell she was proud because, she was crying, and she was like, man, I'm just so happy for you. You had an awesome game.
Well, you mentioned right when you said, hey, this might be the first time I got the real, hey, you're doing an amazing job, and your face lit up. You might even know, your face lit up as you said it. It was and it struck me, and I rewound it again. I watched it again. Then I tape all the news because I'm out of town all weekend. I want to catch up on what happened and all the sports stuff. And I saw it on each show. That's when I was like, I got to get this guy on, man. This is such a great story. And then I'm realizing you led Louisiana Tech. We got some shots of you at Tech. You led them in tackling 2 straight years. You're a tackling machine. You're right up there at Tulane as well. What gives you the drive? I don't know. That might not have been at the end of the season, but at one point you must have led the nation. Maybe it was week 1, but no, it says 83. So this might have been the middle of the season. You were rolling. But my point is, you tackle. You remind me when Pete Werner makes tackles, right? I can't give you that example because Pete just looks like a normal guy too. I cover the Saints, and all of a sudden he's out there just making play after play after play, and that reminds me of you. Because, by the way, you had to replace Nick Anderson and Dorian Williams, okay? Dorian Williams is a 3rd-round draft pick and playing for the Buffalo Bills. Okay. I watched him on Sunday Night Football a couple weeks ago. Your boy Nick Anderson was a great all-time great at Tulane. That's big shoes to fill.
No doubt. Hey, credit to those guys. It was really crazy, what they did last year for this team and everything. And I'm just trying to, do my best to be able to, to help out with my team in that area, help out the linebackers and everything. And yeah, man, Pete Werner, he's a great guy to watch. He's a young guy. He plays for the Saints. I love the Saints, so
Ohio
I'm always
State guy,
watching him and Demario Davis. You know, those two guys. It's really crazy to see like
Demario Davis.
Oh yeah, like you
Unbelievable.
see how like because Demario Davis is an older guy. He's been in the league for quite some time, and it's like you got the old head and you got the young head.
Yeah,
They're just like it's just
perfect.
awesome to watch them play.
It's and their non-success or mediocrity. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. It's nothing to do with them because those two. I mean, Demario Davis. Let me just throw this out. You missed no. He didn't miss a snap last year.
No,
not one snap. That mind boggles me in this era of like we got to rest, you know. But I want to go back to you and what makes you great. Like what makes you the player you are.
Me personally, I think it's just like it's some linebackers kind of talk about. I always like refer to Ray Lewis because like that's just my all-time mentor, and it's awesome to watch him.
One of the greatest of all
and,
time, period.
Oh yeah, and just like his mentality and just the way he runs the ball. But I just think what is my thing is just like kind of like sixth sense, just knowing like where the ball might be going before it's even snapped, and I think that's just something that's always carried me from younger to where I am now.
This is important right here. You wrote this about why you came to Tulane, and it struck me. This is almost like the thing that I read from E.T. You wrote this, right?
Yes, sir.
In a nutshell, because it's hard to read, in a nutshell, let people know, because you saw the culture that was being built, and I've been watching it now for a couple of years, and it's you. In a nutshell, you wrote what I've been thinking, and
Correct.
so tell people what that means.
Yeah, no, it's because I know like everybody's kind of like when they ask about like a program, like what's going on, like, and you kind of give them that same like the culture this, the culture that, but like when you come to Tulane, you feel and understand what's going on here, like the brotherhood, the way that it starts from the top down from Coach Fritz, and like you feel the love that they have for New Orleans and just the love that they have for the team. Like nobody is jealous of somebody making more plays or having more playing time. It's just everybody's enjoying the time with each other, and it's not even like you almost have a job anymore. It's more of just you in the backyard playing with your buddies again.
Right. Like
you're not worried about anything else besides just having fun with each other.
He and his wife are great, by the way. I took them to a well-known restaurant to a friend's house for dinner, and we had a bunch of Errata came and other people. And it's just like he was seeing New Orleans in a different light. Like he's like, oh my God, it's right on the river. And I've gotten to know him. He's been on my shows, whether it be radio, TV, at least a couple dozen times over the year, probably more. But the fact is, I love him and his wife Susan. They're just great people, and that had to play a role in you deciding, because transfer portal, you can leave now, it's easy. And but to get to come home, I noticed, because I looked at your Instagram and I noticed you put the note up, and I think we have it, when you left Tech and you were thanking the people from Louisiana Tech. They were good to you, and it was very classy the way you did it right there to the Bulldog Nation. And then this might have been on December 5th, and then when you're in the portal, all of a sudden things start hitting, and it's like each day you were getting new offers. And at first they were like, the Arkansas States of the world. Then all of a sudden it's like the SMUs of the world. But Tulane was one of them that came in early. And then like by the 19th or the 12th or 19th, somewhere, you said, hey, I'm choosing Tulane. Welcome to Uptown. There we go. You're Uptown. And then we got a couple things about you committed and then signed. So take me through that 2-week stretch when you were being courted again, and probably even more so when they could see you've already done it on a bigger level than high school, right? So take us through it and what ultimately made you decide on Tulane.
Yeah, so I mean, that time's kind of stressful because you have like a bunch of phone calls, with people and just trying to figure out, really what's the best decision for you. And you kind of just sit down with your family and try to figure out what you think's the best for you. But man, like, I'm such a New Orleans person,
right?
And I just love, I really do embrace New Orleans and love just how much how much they love you back.
They do.
And
you said it best.
When I came on my official visit, I think we do some of the best official visits because you get on a float, you get to have you get dinner at the top of a hotel that oversees the city.
Oh, wow.
You second line.
That's so
and so
cool.
Like, it was like the most ideal thing for me. It was like, man, like, these guys are embracing the city so much. And then when I sat down with the head coach and with Coach Hester and just talked to him about like what they have going on, and then talked to the players, it was just like, man, like, who doesn't want to be a part of this?
Right. Well, you struck me. Let me say this, and I'm gonna say spring training, spring practice, in the spring football game y'all had, you got a pick six. I have shots of, once again, I did the stills, so I grabbed the video. This is not as clear, but it's funny. So yeah, you're grabbing the ball up top, and then I got the kind of, you're getting it, and we bring you down the field. I should have just run the video. I don't know why I did this, but the fact is like you get down there, and afterward you're in the post game, and you said what you just said, which struck me. You said, hey, I'm a New Orleans guy, and I'm happy to be here. And the way you said it, like, we say it a certain way, right? I'm from here. I left for 30 years, and I'm back, you know. I played in the Catholic League as well, other sports. But the fact is that you love being New Orleanian, right? I'm sure you went to Ruston. You probably talked about crawfish and stuff. I know they have it up there, but it's not the same.
Exactly.
Right. You know, he said exactly. Yeah. I live in Atlanta. They have it, too. They're like, I said it's not the same, y'all.
Yeah, no, not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
I know you're not that far away, but it's not the same. But tell us about how much you love your city and being back and playing in it now.
Yeah, man, it's just like being able to have your family only like 10 minutes away from the game, knowing that they're there every game supporting you, knowing you got friends out there that. You
played at Holy Cross. You got Rimitich, who's a teammate.
Exactly.
I mean, that's cool because I saw y'all promoting the game
playing
with
ball
him
since we've been 5 years old together.
Yeah, I got shots of y'all together. I mean, I think this is one. I talked to him at y'all's banquet at Rizzuto's before the season, the thing y'all had, the fundraising thing, and he's a great dude, man.
Oh, yeah.
And y'all played high school football together, and you know, that's kind of cool, isn't it?
Heck yeah. I mean, being able to play with somebody that you played high school ball together, we played park ball together, and just knowing like, man, like this is, you know, like basically a brother to me.
And he's been starting for a while, hasn't he? I mean,
yeah.
Like,
yeah, he's been playing for a while.
So this is his 4th year?
Yeah, I think that was the picture of me and him signing together.
Yeah, that's when he signed. Okay, you signed at Tech. I do my research, man. You signed at Tech that day. He signed for Tulane, and y'all went your separate way. Did you have any idea that y'all might be back together one day? Yeah, you got a little show. Yeah. Is this for real?
Yeah.
Is this at Tulane, or this was in high school? This at Tulane?
So, yeah, but that's pictures obviously from high school.
High school,
but,
right.
Yeah, we did the interview, I think it was in the summertime. It was called Thick in the Trenches with a few of the guys on the team. But, man, it was awesome because we were showing pictures of us like at prom together and all that. So man, it was hilarious. Just
so do y'all have a little thing y'all talk on? Because I know some players from schools have it. I listened to one this Notre Dame group had.
Really?
I'm not even a Notre Dame fan, but they're just so good.
Really?
I was listening. This was like last year, and they were. I mean, it's interesting to me. So do y'all have something people can listen to?
Yeah, it's called Thick in the Trenches. Ethan Marcus and Noah Talianich, and they do a thing like it's they talk about Tulane. They bring certain guys on. They bring they even have I think they had one of the Saints players on. They kind of just talk about you know, New Orleans, talk about what's going on with Tulane. You know,
so you were a guest on that show? Is that
correct? Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Hey, real quick, before I let you go, and I got to get off air right now, but the game this weekend. You're in a championship game in your first year, man. 11-1. What great success. Just talk about that game a little bit and what it means. You're playing SMU, who's had a great season, right? And y'all beat the pants off them last year. So they're going to be upset. You beat them like 50, I think. And it could have been 100, but y'all just let you took the foot off the engine. But talk real quick about that game in this championship coming up Saturday at 3 p.m.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, big game for us, championship, you know, for the AAC title. And, you know, we just want everybody to be there, you know, come to the game, support us, and just know that, you know, we're trying to go 1-0, but man, like to be able to bring that championship, hold it in our program, you know, something special.
It'd be such a feat. And I know it's not going to be easy. They're a good football team, but I wish you the best of luck. And I'm going to tell you what, winning is sexy. So you know what? We're going to give you 2 of these Shays de la Shays.
Oh, I appreciate that.
They actually add up to the same amount. So, but point being is, enjoy that task performance.
Yes, sir.
You're going to love this one, man. I don't know if you have any task performance, but there you go.
There we go.
Sit down before you go because we got that thing's going to take you out. But I got to thank you big time. That's Tyler Grubbs right there. Check him in the Tulane Green Wave out this weekend. LSU is waiting for their bowl bid to see where they're going to be, and we're going to follow that as well. But Tulane, it's all Tulane this weekend. They get this, man, and they're going to be in that New Year's Bowl again. And then next year they get to be in the 12-team playoff where it's going to be a lot easier to have a chance to win a national title instead of just playing in a bowl. So that'll be fun too. Hey, I got to thank so many people. Will, what a great producing job, my man. Phenomenal. Alex, get better. Hope you get well. Logan, yeoman's work there. Logan Graffia, you hear his name all the time. Sometimes he pinch hits out of here as well. And Danielle, Wick. I finally saw a John Wick movie. It wasn't named after her, but I like to say it was. And also my man Ron and Jim. These people run the station. I'm very grateful. I want everybody to begin their holiday season, have fun, and we got a full month of loving each other and celebrating what's really important in life. So we'll be back next week. I got a great December lined up for you. I got to thank E.T., Efrem Towns, and of course Tracey Mose over there. Get out to the holiday Champagne Stroll, the Champagne Holiday Stroll. Get on out to Magazine Street Saturday night from 6 to 9, right after the Tulane game. We'll see you next week, and I'll see you Saturday.